Welcome to Destination Linux, the show where we decode the open source multiverse one packet at a time. Because while the rest of the world is stuck in the matrix of proprietary software, we're out here offering the red pill of freedom. I'm your host, Jill, your archivist of the digital age and pixel perfect navigator, piloting the ship this week. I'm joined by Ryan, our hardware hacker and privacy sentinel who treats every firewall like the deflector shields on the Enterprise.
True.
And stepping through the Stargate to join us as a special guest host, we have Zeb. He's back. He's the champion of usability and the voice of the everyday user. Today, our sensors are picking up some incredible topics. We're discussing how to assimilate open source into your business model without alerting the Borg, tuning into the frequency of the deviant airwaves journey, and taking a look at the Orion web browser. So check your dependencies, grab your Romulan ale, and prepare for system launch. Let's compile this kernel. This is Destination Linux.
So our feedback this week comes from ML, who has this to say. Hi all, great show as always, had a ton of fun. Having a new guest in every show gives a really nice variety to the show, although I miss Michael quite a bit. We all miss Michael.
Yeah.
Miss Michael. While I do agree with Ryan's stance on AI that it should enhance rather than replace employees, I do think that increased employee productivity inherently leads to a smaller workforce when we assume the amount of work stays the same. We are currently witnessing the industrialization of white-collar work. AI is reducing the need for human labor the same way as the steam machine was decimating the production workforce in the late 1800s. Wow. I mean, it's a really good point. I think if you follow the news, you can see that a lot of companies are in the midst of laying off. And in some cases, a lot of times, these are the same companies that were kind of touting how great AI is going to be. And then they're cutting people, and then they're having massive software issues right after the fact. A lot of people, for instance, are talking about the recent Microsoft Windows bugs in which I think the restart button or the shutdown button stopped working or something recently. And people are, of course, making lots of jokes about microslop AI, that they probably have a bunch of people doing some vibe coding there, and you have less people who are physically familiar with the code and more people just dumping code into an AI and saying, hey, help me add this feature to it. And then it adds the feature and, of course, does a regression at the same time. Not that errors didn't happen before AI. We can't act like they didn't. But I think there is something to say that, this AI revolution is going to cost people a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of videos on the DOS Geek channel about this. And I've talked about the fact that when companies say, we're going to use AI to not replace you, but to make you more efficient, then if you're more efficient, you probably don't need as many people on your team. And eventually, that efficiency is going to turn into, maybe we don't need anybody on the team except somebody who runs and engineers the AI stuff. So I think it's a very fair point, but what do we do about it? You can't stop it.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, at the end of the day, if they reduce the workforce by a third, it just means that the 2/3 that are there have got to pick up that slack, AI or not, as we've proved with the Microsoft. And I think they've had another recent patch that's even worse than the one that you were talking about. And yet again, they've now had to put in a mid-patch fix to fix the fix. So it's AI will have its uses, but you still need experts to review it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing to be sorry about. I agree. Yeah. It reminds me of, I've been in the workforce for way too long. And there's been times where the corporations were going to outsource parts of the business. And the first thing the executives come in and do is they say, hey, we're bringing in this other country or people to do some of the work, but we're just doing it to take the easy stuff off your plate. And we're not replacing anyone. It's just to enhance your work. So then they get you to train these individuals. And then 3 months later, your entire work team is then replaced by an outsourced team. And AI, it's the same kind of message. It's like, hey, this is only going to enhance the work that you do. So make sure, and there's a lot of companies where people are saying that they're being forced to utilize AI to do their job. Like they will get written up if they're not utilizing AI. And the reason why companies are doing that is because they're training the model. They're training the model to do your job. And eventually they're going to try to get rid of many people as they can and gain efficiency from it. That's the hope of AI. I think, thankfully, AI has been so sloppily implemented in most instances that there's no chance that that's really working effectively yet. But the time will come and companies will, they're so big, they make so much money now that they can lay off 100 people they need and not feel it for 3 to 6 months. So it's just one of those things where I think we will eventually have a bubble burst. I think we will eventually find balance with AI, but right now the companies are just throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's kind of how it feels, But really fantastic comment. If you want to send in your feedback, please send in your feedback. Email us at comments@destinationlinux.net, or you can go to Deviant Airwaves and fill out the form there.com. And we will read your note on the show, maybe. So we want to get lots of feedback. Now that Jill and I have taken over the helm, we've got Deviant Airwaves here. We want you to send in tons of feedback because you are an important part of the show. So we want you to send it in. In fact, if you've already sent feedback and it's not been read on the show, please resend it. We've changed services recently and may have missed your email there.
Yeah.
And Jill, this is a really exciting part. We have our patrons here that Jill created all the new patron perks and did a fantastic job. And thank you so much to everyone who has supported us right off the rip of Jill and I taking the helm of Destination Linux and Deviant Airwaves. And so we're going to give a shout out to you here. Yeah, okay. So I'll let you do the shout out, Jill. Go for it.
Okay. So thank you to the Continual One, Amanita, DMW, Maria's Tom, Chris, Andy, Lex, Jeremy, Gregory, and Gregory is watching us live right now with our live link into OBS Ninja. And the one, the only, Zippity Boss.
What, Zeb, you're on the show. You don't have to support us, but you do it anyways.
Yeah, because I've been supporting Destination Linux since, I think it was 2017.
Oh,
and there was no way that just because the network has decided to go their own ways that I was going to stop that supporting. So, let's keep it going.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Zeb.
Thank you to everyone. All the patrons. It really means a lot to us to support us early on that. And
the first week, we got a lot of people the first week. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. And it helps us pay for all the services because we're going to talk about it later in the show, but we're doing a lot of new stuff. And in fact, this recording right now may look different, may even sound different. We're figuring things out because we're trying to go full open source in everything we do. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But first, we got to get to our sponsor, Sandfly, because as Linux users, we know what's up. Security is non-negotiable, but with threats getting smarter, your security tools need to keep pace without dragging your system down. Traditional agents, they slow you down and leave blind spots. It's time for a smarter approach. That's why Destination Linux is proud to be sponsored by Sandfly Security, revolutionary agentless platform designed for Linux. Go to destinationlinux.net/Sandfly and see how Sandfly can transform your security strategy. Timothy Lisko of DigitalOcean says Sandfly is one of the most exciting pieces of security tech they've seen recently. We're excited to not only be a customer, but also offer integrated solution to our customers through the DigitalOcean marketplace. Sandfly doesn't just detect and respond, it revolutionizes security with SSH key tracking, password auditing, drift detection, covering threats from every angle. Whether your systems are in the cloud or on-premise or on embedded devices, Sandfly ensures they're all secure without the headaches of agent-based solution. Experience security that's not just effective, but gives you peace of mind. No agents, no downtime, just cutting-edge protection.
And the home edition of Sandfly Security is now available. And to all our wonderful listeners of Destination Linux, they have an incredible offer for you of 50% off if you use the discount code Destination50. Dive into the future of Linux security at destinationlinux.net/Sandfly. That's destinationlinux.net/SANDFLY and see how Sandfly can transform your security strategy.
So, Zeb, I'm so happy you're on this week because you are the voice of the everyday user. That was what people knew you for when you were on the show originally as a host. And this topic probably requires that more than anybody else because I tend to be biased, right? I'm going to always look for the positive in open source, and so is Jill. But the reality is, not everything in open source is always so simple and easy to set up. And what I want to talk to everyone about today is we launched Deviant Airwaves. Jill and I, it's a joint venture, and we are continuing to look for ways to kind of bring this show closer to open source, meaning we put our shoes where our mouth is. What is the saying? Our fists where our mouth, our feet where our mouth are. We put our, what's that saying? We put our fists.
I'm spacing too.
We put our fists in our guest's mouth and punch.
But we didn't put our feet in our mouth.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Either way, whatever that saying is, you'll let us know. We want to use open source. That's the core of it. And so what I want to talk about is how we're integrating some of that, and also we're launching a small business. So I think this is really useful for our listeners because you may be starting a small business yourself. And what this does is kind of the glory of open source. One of the great things is the costs of starting a business are extraordinary. You've got your licensing fees, your filing fees. You've got, of course, taxes and things you've got to do. You've got financial stuff you've got to set up. You have servers and all this other stuff. So anything that's free and open source can be really, really helpful to reducing the costs of initially starting that business. And so Jill and I have tried through multiple different ways of saying, hey, where can we integrate open source into everything that we're doing here as we launch this new company? And so one of the first things we're doing is using OBS.Ninja or VDO.Ninja. And that's what we're using right now to record this podcast. And in fact, we have patrons right now, or anybody, because we're not doing kind of a limit at this moment, can listen to this show and watch it live through OBS.Ninja. And what I think is fascinating about this, and then Zeb, when I'm done, you can tell the truth of all the pain we've gone through setting this up. But what I found fascinating about VDO.Ninja is the sheer amount of settings and capabilities to change every little thing about this recording. Like VDO.Ninja, when it started, did not have all these features, but there must be 300 different settings that you can play with now in VDO.Ninja to do all kinds of different audio and video and splits and settings for everybody's audio and different transitions and screens and people to listen. And what a fantastic tool that is 100% free.
It's open. Yeah. It's so amazing because, you think of the proprietary software. This software actually does more than most of the recording softwares out there because it's actually a full radio and TV studio in digital form. That's essentially what it is, and one of the reasons why we chose it.
Yeah,
absolutely. And before Ryan puts his foot in his mouth again, and thankfully one of the people in chat mentioned it as I thought of it myself. It's where you put your money where your mouth
That's
is.
the one.
Thank you, Zeb, and thank you, Spazzy in chat.
Or put your fist in your guest's face. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't right.
I was spacing. I couldn't think of it. Thank you, Zeb.
That's okay. But yeah, no, I can speak. We probably had about half an hour before the show started, and I jumped on early because I'd not used this VDO.Ninja or VDO.Ninja before. Actually, forget the video. It is VDO.Ninja. And I had already started up my own test instance because, you can go there and just open it up yourself and have a play with it.
Yeah.
So I went on there the first time and I just put my video up and I tested all my bits and pieces and thought, great, fine. And then I opened it up again and I turned myself on as the operator of the whole channel. I looked at the set of commands and went, no, that's not for me. I'll leave that to the clever people, and turned it right off again. And even somebody with Ryan's background in all of the things he does, there are so many controls. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something to run your podcast on, even in my ordinary used, 100% recommended. It looks phenomenal.
That's awesome, and I agree, Zeb. Like it's simple but advanced, and that the user interface. If you were going to sell this software, maybe you would have to do some work if you were trying to maybe target the professional side on some of the interface stuff. But as far as professional goes, there's every setting a professional, to Jill, who knows about this better than anybody, that I could think that you could want. Jill, I mean, you did video for Hollywood.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
When you're in a studio, you want everything from fades to sources to different codec options to being able to control everybody's audio on different channels, everybody's video on different channels. All that's here somehow.
Yeah.
The genius behind VDO.Ninja is who created this thing and why. What else can we get them to work on? Because it's incredible that somebody built this. And obviously our goal, which, when we first launched this as a business, one of our goals is that we want to make sure that we're giving back to any of these projects that we use for production long-term. So we will be donating, of course, to VDO.Ninja. Even though it's free to start, if we make money, we're going to share that money. And I think that's the open source spirit, right, that we should do.
Absolutely.
So the next thing is Nextcloud. So we've tried Nextcloud in the past, Jill. And it went okay. I think there were some issues that we ran into. I don't remember what they were. Probably somebody in our audience does. But we went back to it this time when we relaunched Deviant Airwaves, and we said, hey, this is going to be the place where we're going to store our show notes. We're going to store our business documents. We're going to collaborate, manage our finances even, because it has a whole financial section. So we can start capturing our costs of the business, website hosting fees, all of that type of stuff, DigitalOcean fees. And so we launched that on DigitalOcean. And we've gotten it set up to the point where we made a joke, I think, last time Zeb was on about Zeb couldn't open the notes and things. We've had some learning curve there as well. But probably the least amount of learning curve, to me, this is professional ready out of the box. Whereas a VDO.Ninja is, you better set some time aside to learn it. Nextcloud is launch and go. Like, there may be a few features like where you can share stuff and things you need to figure out. But my goodness, Nextcloud is powerful.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. And I love the show notes on Nextcloud. I think it looks great, and it's markdown, which is awesome for taking it to other applications. And I'm just been really enjoying also doing my personal notes on our Nextcloud server. That has been very nice. So I can keep notes of things that I need to do each day for the network and tasks we need to complete.
Jill, and when you say you have to take notes each day for what needs to be done on the network, what does that involve? That's typically Ryan calls you at some random hour of the day. You pick up the phone, we share a bunch of ideas, and then is that where you're capturing what we're
yes.
Okay, yeah.
So you don't know. So when if I'm on my phone, and usually that's what's happening is I'm on my phone. So I'm going to the Nextcloud Notes app on my phone, and then just typing my little bullet point notes down. So I make sure to remember because, well, I am older, so I need to write things down.
Jill.
It's,
nobody's got a worse memory than me. Not to put my foot in my mouth.
I actually have a really good memory, but I'll be honest with you. One of the things is I'm dealing with some very powerful medicine that sometimes makes me forget things. Yeah. So I have to be very cognizant of that.
Completely understand.
Yeah.
I feel like the older I get, the worse my memory gets. And then the things that I do remember are things that it's like, why is my brain using that for space? I needed it for something
Yeah,
that was
Totally
important.
something
irrelevant.
else.
Yeah, what do you need to know that for? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's where Nextcloud really comes in handy. And so you brought up an interesting point. You have the Nextcloud app on your phone. And that's one of the things I like about Nextcloud is I not only have it on all my desktops and can
Yes.
access it anywhere through the browser, but I have an app on my phone that I can access Nextcloud and start doing all the file sharing, work, collaboration. So no matter where I'm at, I can start writing shows, for instance, for the week or add in topics that I'm interested in, which is really cool. But I do not like how it has a separate notes app. So
I know it's separate from the main app, and then they have a separate chat app. Yeah, hopefully that'll get all integrated
Merged.
at some point. Yeah.
To me, that's kind of a downside, but I think it probably may have to do with it. Maybe they don't own that particular notes app, or I don't think it's a third party thing. I think it's what's built in the Nextcloud. But either way, there's that. And then the third thing that we launched this week, we've been busy bees. Jill's been busy bee too. Very, very busy bee. Is our Matrix Element chat. So
Absolutely.
Zeb, I think, has some memories of the pain that we had with Matrix Element in the past. And when I say in the past, this is probably 5 or 6 years ago when we did this. And we hosted our own Matrix Element for a while. We had a massive issue with administration, moderation of the server, where basically bots were coming in and putting very inappropriate things in the chat and all that type of stuff. And we couldn't control it. We couldn't stop it. And it had to do with something. Well, we didn't host our own, actually. We paid Matrix Element to host it for us. And there were some issues and things. And in fairness, Matrix Element was fairly new at the time, maybe a year out of the box or something when we were using it. So it's been a long time. And the reality is the open source community hangs out in Matrix Element. And Jill and I had a long discussion about this because right now we primarily are in Discord. About whether we bring back the Matrix Element and really meet you guys where you're at and kind of support this open source tool. So we did. When I say we, I mean Jill. Jill launched and created the new Element room. So if you are in our Discord or if you go to Deviant Airwaves, by the time this airs, there will be a link there for you to join our Matrix Element room. And we will hang out with you there, of course, and have some fun. And this is particularly important to me right now because there's this thing going on in Discord where certain countries are being requiring people, if they want to get onto Discord, to upload their ID. They're mandating ID to access this tool. And unfortunately, Discord is accepting this implementation with these ID checks, and I can only see this growing. And to me, this is a huge privacy violation. And the goal behind it, as always, is we're going to protect the children. It's going to do nothing to protect the children. Zero. Promise you, nothing will happen with the children and good, because what's going to happen is the bad actors are just going to go further underground. And even if they do that, none of these rules and laws that pass seem to help any of the statistics and numbers of the amount of issues that they're saying they're facing. So I have zero doubt that the whole guise behind this is just to track people more. And I don't like this privacy violation. I don't like that Discord signed up for it. And so far, Matrix does not have to comply with that. And if they do, then we would find something else, frankly, somebody who doesn't comply with that nonsense. Because I do not believe that IDing yourself with your actual driver's license and things, number one, hackers get a hold of that data. I mean, now they have your whole driver's license picture and everything else. And this has already happened to services, by the way. This isn't just a made-up thing. People have gotten into... there was a particular app, and I think it was specific to women who wanted to chat with each other about things, and they had to prove they were women, and then they were uploading their driver's license through this validation tool, and then it got exposed. All the driver's license of every person who was on there. So this is nonsense. So I think Matrix is a good push from that aspect as well. I don't know what you all think.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think, and I might be mixing up various things here, but you're right with the stolen ID. The crazy thing that happened in the UK when they brought out a load of the security rules and regulations is that the minister who pushed it through Parliament, somebody found his driving license, and now you have like 20 million versions of this guy who's joined whatever websites they want. Because when they said, show us your driving license, people were just holding up their camera with a picture of his driving license and it was accepting it.
Yeah.
So there you are, male, there's your age, there's your picture, you're in. So how is that secure? How do they know? Because not many people nowadays will have their physical driving license available when they're signing up for these services. So they'll literally pick their phone up, get a picture of their driving license and go, there you go, it's me.
Yeah.
And they were in.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's no security there. It's just another way for various entities to garner information about you.
And part of me loves that they figured out how to hack the Parliament person's driver's license and do that. That's hilarious. Also, is UK also where they have the people who are cutting down the video cameras with jigsaws? Not that I endorse any illegal behavior, but that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I think that when you're fighting for privacy and security, no holds bars. That's my kind of philosophy on that stuff. But that's one of the reasons why open source is so powerful too. Is that's a very important thing to me, is the privacy and security of everybody who listens to this show. And so, if you have more suggestions, tools you want us to check out, things that you've used for your small business and open source, send those suggestions to us. We could use the help. We're riding fresh here. We're building everything from scratch, so we can use all of the insights and thoughts and tools and hosting and everything else that you have available. We'll take it. All right, Jill, what do you have for us? You have something pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah. So Orion is actually a new, fast, privacy-focused web browser, which is written from the ground up, and we love that, and developed by Kagi. Kagi, if you remember, Ryan, is the creator of the privacy-focused Kagi search engine we've talked about in the past.
Yep.
And it's wonderful. In fact, I had signed up for it and still use it. Well, the Orion web browser is designed to be a high-performance alternative to Safari and Chrome. But unlike most competitors that use Chromium, Orion is built on WebKit, which is the same engine as Safari for Mac OS.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this allows it to be exceptionally fast, lightweight, and very energy efficient. But more importantly, for us Linux users, WebKit started as a fork of the KHTML and KJS libraries from KDE and is used in KDE's Conqueror web browser, which I've quite frankly used frequently. Whenever I'm on KDE, I just automatically use the Conqueror.
It's a great browser.
Yeah, it's a really good browser, and I like that you can do the file management and all that. It's really cool. So, but Orion is the only web browser that supports both Chrome and Firefox extensions alongside native WebKit performance.
Okay, so does it support WebKit extensions as well?
Yes. Yeah, that's what that's what it was saying, that it's supposed to support all the WebKit extensions, even the older Firefox ones.
Yeah, because it says right here, the only browser supporting Safari, Chrome, and Firefox extension. That's incredible. I didn't even realize that they were doing that. That's interesting how they've been able to merge that. Wow.
I know, it puts them on a different level, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's very cool.
And what's even more interesting for me is that I had already tried to look up, because I'd read somewhere about this Orion browser.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and then it was like, I'm going to have to come back to this in 6 months' time because it's only Mac OS at the moment. It's only Mac at the moment.
Yes.
So, when they bring it out for the other ones, because I'm always on the lookout for a different browser, the ultimate browser. What's the one that's going to work? And to be honest with you, there isn't, I don't think, an ultimate browser.
Nope.
Because so many users want so many different things.
Exactly.
And if you can start on the basis of it being open source and having all of these features that we all love, then it's already got, it's already got 2 or 3 steps up the ladder to becoming one of the best browsers that's out there. So yeah, let's hope they bring out a good one soon.
Yeah,
Well, a good
absolutely.
one that's for everybody, not just Mac users. Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. And the other thing about the extensions is they're even available on mobile devices. So
wow.
so when they create Orion web browser for mobile, we'll have that option as well. And Orion is privacy focused and does not collect user data, analytics, or tracking information. And it includes industry leading ad and tracker blocking by default. Woohoo!
Interesting.
It has everything we want so far. And there is actually also built-in support for tree-style vertical tabs for better organization, and it is engineered to be much more memory efficient. And Orion is currently available, like Zeb was saying, for Mac OS, iOS, and iPad OS, with a Linux version in alpha and a Windows version in development, which is expected in late 2026. I don't care about the Windows version. Sorry.
Jill, I can't believe you would say that. Unbelievable.
I'm just kidding. We need it across all.
She wasn't kidding,
operating systems.
She wasn't kidding. Look, here's the thing. When you see these privacy-focused browsers come out, so WebKit actually has, for those that don't know, the Safari WebKit has an open source version of it, but it's extremely streamlined version of WebKit. So it's not like the full Safari browser. They don't open source that, but they basically have their back-end code, kernel, just the core stuff out there for people to use. So it's very cool because I've always wondered why we only have GNOME Web as the only one who uses WebKit that I can think of. There may be others, but that's the only one I know of anyways.
Correct.
And actually Safari is it's gotten to become a very good browser. And I think one of the things that frustrates me the most is the only browser alternatives, unless you have Firefox, which I've not been a fan of what Mozilla and Firefox have been doing the last few years, is the only one that has a different engine. So basically everyone else is on Chromium, and then you've got, Gecko on Firefox, and that's it. And so Orion doing this, I think, is very, very interesting. But I always tell people, follow the money. When I see something like this, I go, how are you going to fund the development of a browser across multiple operating systems with potentially millions of users wanting different features and then trying to keep the compatibility of the extensions in? And they do address this. They call it Orion Plus, which is basically 100% funded by its users, no ads and no third-party deals ever. Get Orion Plus and own your browser. So they're saying they're a self-funded enterprise. They're starting at $5 a month is Orion Plus subscription. Some add-ons may come at additional costs. I don't know what it really gets you other than maybe supporting them. And then there's $50 a year. And then there's purchase Orion Plus and use it forever for $150 lifetime. I would highly recommend Kagi get rid of the lifetime license because if everyone buys that, you're going to run out of funding in like 5 years, right? I don't like.
And I don't know of any other. Sorry, I don't know of any other application that's ever done lifetime subscription.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later, oh, sorry, but your lifetime subscription isn't available anymore. You've got to buy it again. Well, hang on a minute. I'm still alive. What's going on here? And they come up with some excuse about, well, if you'd read the fine print and blah, 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 we can do this and we can do that. And well, it wasn't a lifetime subscription. Yes, I'm not a big fan of those at all.
Yeah, I don't like the lifetime terminology. Even if they want to do the $150, use it forever, just have that as an option. Take away the lifetime thing. I like the yearly option. I also would like a one-time donation option, which they have. You can just, I think they have that on there. No, they just have the plans here. They might. I'll have to dig deeper. But my point is that you're going to, first of all, people are monthly feed to death. So that's number one. I think you're going to have a hard time for a lot of people wanting to spend money on a regular basis for a browser, especially on a monthly basis. There'll be some, but I think it's a stretch again because we're monthly feed to death. I really like the idea of like how DuckDuckGo supports themselves, where they do have ads, but those ads are not tracked. They're just like if I type in Taco Bell, I might get an ad for Taco Bell, and that's where the transaction ends. It doesn't track and say Ryan's the one who asked for Taco Bell. It doesn't track anything about me. It just displays an ad there. So I don't think ads are evil, and we're going to get into that in a second in Zeb's topic, actually. Inherently evil. I think they're a great way that you can fund things. So, and then I'm worried about the user thing, because as the economy continues to be bad, we face this as a podcast. It's more difficult to get people to, obviously, people don't have excess money to be able to give every month. So it becomes really difficult to fund yourself as you start losing people who are, and they'll say it in their notes when they're canceling their Patreon or whatever of, hey, financial situation changed, don't have the money for it, this type of stuff. So I like the idea, though, of the yearly, like, hey, I'll give you $25 a year donation. I know I get to support this awesome browser and this awesome journey. I love everything they're doing here. I would just ask them to be careful about kind of these bold statements of it will always be 100% funded, no ads ever, all of this stuff, because that worries me about the longevity of a project when I see that. And I would hate to have them have to backtrack it later on if this thing becomes huge. And I think it has the potential to be huge because people really want an alternative to what's out there.
Yeah. And especially one that's privacy focused. It's all the things that we want as Linux users.
Yeah, it really is. It's got so many of the things I would be looking for. And I love what they're standing for. They're sitting on that privacy thing. Now, is this completely open source?
I haven't, they didn't state that it wasn't.
But they didn't state it was either. I'm looking on the site here to see.
While you're looking at that up, if I can interject, this is why I love the open source community and what it does, because they make these claims that they're privacy centric. We're never going to give you information. There will be somebody out there clever enough to do a deep dive on this browser, and if they are selling your data or they are using your data for someone else, someone in the open source community will find out about it.
Yep.
And like you're saying, are they truly open source? Someone, give it a couple of months, and someone will work out, well, hang on a minute, you're open, you're everything's open source except for this paragraph here, where you then claim that you're using this, and I can't see what this is. And they will find them, and that's the beauty of open source. If you're putting your code out there, people will find if you're telling the truth or not. And I think that's great.
It. They're not mentioning anywhere that they're open source on their page.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate if it is. And so my recommendation to them would be, number one, if you are open source, clarify it right there on your page. Number two, if you're not open source, you should be. I hope I'm not taking away from the awesomeness of somebody trying to go out there and create something new and do something with privacy and do it where it's completely user funded. That's one of the things we want to do with this show, is have much user funding as possible so we don't have to do ads and other stuff. And the ads that we do choose are ones that we continue to just be companies we love and adore and want to bring to your attention anyways. So I get all of that, but browser, boy, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And there's so much to support and so much community opinions you're going to have. So I wish them the best in the world. And truly, we need something like this, and I hope it's successful. All right, Zeb, speaking of ads, what are you seeing in the ad world these days?
Well, it didn't start off necessarily as ads and ad blockers per se, but it was something that I read on a blog, funnily enough, from a company that helps you de-bloat and de-sloppify, if I can use that word, Microsoft. I'm not going to name them, but it's very easy to go out and find out what this app is called, yeah. And then and if I can just read a section from this blog, and it's talking about ad-supported tier coming to Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, you're already paying for the service, so why are you now going to get ads? And what they say is, users have recently observed a new message while launching games through Xbox Cloud Gaming, stating 1 hour of ad-supported playtime per session. This notice appears to confirm earlier reports that Microsoft plans to introduce an ad-supported access tier. Although the message surfaced unexpectedly, sources at the company clarify it is an upcoming feature rather than a current policy. And then the report goes on to tell you what exactly it's going to be, and there's going to be different tiers, and it's going to be one of those horrible scenarios, and I'll say horrible scenarios because I really dislike companies who've done that. They get you into their ecosystem, they get you liking what they produce. Oh, sorry, you're going to start getting ads now, or you send us a few more shekels, a few more
shekels. Is that real?
Send us a few. You're going because I've forgotten what word, but squiddles. Send us a few more of your squiddles.
Squiddles.
And then you can have an ad-free service. And then that brought us onto, you and I started talking about ad blockers. And then it brings up the question, are ad blockers ethical? And then you enter a whole new realm of difficult conversations to have, because your ethics aren't the same as my ethics, aren't the same as his ethics. So, to try and define what is ethical and isn't ethical is virtually impossible. But I said I wasn't going to name and shame, but I will do on this particular case because it really irked me when it happened. So another example of what I was talking about is Amazon Prime. They provided you videos to watch as part of your subscription. And I had been with them literally for 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 years. I can't remember what. And then in late December, early February 2024, they said, oh, by the way, with your Amazon Prime now, you're going to have ads in the middle of your films. You're going to have ads during your shows. Oh, but if you'd like to pay us an extra £3.50 a month on top of the exorbitant price they were charging anyway, you can have it ad-free.
Yeah.
And that's just, for me, a classic example of we've got you in, you're in our realm now.
Yeah.
Now we want to have your money. And so that I find quite nauseating. But on this, the ad side of it, I also found another a blog post from, believe it or not, Oxford University. And I'll leave it for you and Jill to decide whether you can put that into the show notes, because I don't know what the privacy side of it is. But this got my mind thinking beyond ads are annoying and they spoil the content you are trying to watch.
Right.
To talk about it on the show, I started to make a list of pros and cons about why people should and shouldn't use ad blockers.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hang on a minute, I'm up to 25 on each list. When's this ever going to stop? And I'm realising that was just a rabbit hole too far to go down. So I guess my main takeaway from looking at all of this ad blocker stuff, and then we can hear your take on it, is that for me, ultimately, you're preventing small content creators from making any money from their endeavours. Content that you are wanting to see or are interested in. So why not help them pay for it by watching some adverts? You won't remember to whitelist those sites in whatever app you're using, because you'll load your ad blocker up because you want to stop the big corporations ruining what you're viewing. And then you'll come to Tom Jones or whatever that you want to support, and I guarantee you will forget to go up, whitelist, add this website. And it's not just content you're watching, but it's all the other ads that appear on the internet. Yeah, I go to read an article, and then after I've fought my way through 54 pop-ups, it then comes up with the final pop-up that says, oh, and you can only read this if you're a subscriber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it any wonder people are using ad blockers?
I think
are they ethical?
I think
don't know.
This is such an interesting topic, because I think we could dedicate a whole show to this conversation. But, a couple of things come to mind. You know what I don't mind is when I'm watching a video service, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever, because to your point, Netflix and Amazon both did the, hey, look how cool we are, we don't have ads. That was even big selling topic for them. And then as soon as they get big, what do? They put ads in. What I don't mind is when they say this movie's being brought to you uninterrupted by XYZ company. And then you watch a 30-second advertisement, and the rest of the show or movie, there's no other advertisement, meaning it doesn't take you out of the show. And when I look at ads also for content creators, I think about the same thing. If you're taking, if we did this show where we're like, Zeb has a huge secret to tell, but first, and then we did an ad read, it takes you out of this whole moment, right? It's almost like
You've lost the momentum. Yeah.
You've lost the momentum, and it's abusive to your listener because you're forcing them to wait for a piece of information. And so I think there's the ethics of ads that have been lost. And then when you look at the small content creators that even put ads in their stuff, a lot of times they're signing up for services, and these ads become abusive. They track you, they fingerprint you, they put cookies in your browser for you. So now it's not just an advertisement sitting on the side of an article. Now it's this thing that is now tracking me across every site and everywhere I go. And then there's the YouTube side of things, which when YouTube introduced ads, they probably, when they first introduced it, at least my memory tells me, they were very respectable in that usually it was 5 seconds and you could skip. And at least I could skip it and start, continuing on with the content. And it was a very small disruption. Now they're playing with unskippable ads. And then the ads hide the next button to where it's like they have the white screen and the text is white and I can't find it. And they're just getting more and more abusive with this type of stuff. And so this is where people, I think, ethically come in and say, you know what? I can stream that Amazon show illegally across a browser and not have to watch any ads. Or I can utilize this YouTube plugin, YouTube DL, whatever, where I can watch YouTube videos and it doesn't play any ads at all. Or I could put an ad blocker in my browser that blocks them. And you can't fault them for this. I can't sit there and say, shame on you for doing that. At the same time, Zeb, when we talk about AI and things, what is one of the big things we're saying? Well, AI is out there scraping people's content and utilizing it without giving any money back, and it's taking money away from that, and we'll no longer have small creators and content creators and bloggers and things able to make a living because of this. So you can't have both ways. You can't say AI is bad for doing it, but then you do it yourself by blocking every ad out there and basically taking money away from the small content creator. And the same thing is with YouTube. Now, YouTube does have YouTube Premium, which you can pay for, and as a content creator, when people have YouTube Premium, I have a little section when people watch my videos, it tells me how many of them had YouTube Premium and how much money I get from YouTube Premium viewers watching. So I do get money for people who have the ad-free version of YouTube, but I understand not everybody can afford that. So it's a really tough situation. I don't know, Jill, do you have a solution for all this?
I was gonna talk about YouTube as well for us small artists who if you have those ad blockers on, we get nothing from that. But I understand how annoying it is for the end user to have to watch all these commercials, and it's even worse right now on Twitch than it is on YouTube.
Twitch is horrendous.
It's really
so bad.
It's 10 minutes of ads before,
I can't even,
and in the middle.
And love Twitch. I can't even watch it anymore. I put that app on and I started to watch a stream, and it was like 1 out of 6 ads. It was like the top, it has this counter, and it just kept going, Jill, and going. And I'm like,
yeah, I know.
What is happening?
And the crazy thing is that Twitch offers something called Nitro, which you can pay a monthly fee for. And then you don't get any ads. But the problem is, because what I was doing in the 6 years that I was away from the show, I ended up becoming a Twitch moderator for maybe sort of like 7 or 8 people that used to do the World of Warcraft.
You traitor.
So I learned an awful lot about what was happening with Twitch, etc. And some guy actually worked out that even with the money that you get from Twitch adverts properly, when they become a Nitro user, they then get like almost nothing compared to what they would have got if they got the Twitch rates. And they had a very specific, if you've got 5 million viewers, we're going to pay you 50 to 60% of your revenue. And even if you've got 100,000 users, you're only going to get 25% of the revenue, and we're going to take 50. So they brought out some different layers. But a lot of what all of these adverts within things do is nobody bothers to go and set up your ad revenue the way you want it. There's a thing that comes up now that as soon as you go to a Twitch channel, ads. Yeah. So if you want to provide good content, turn that off. Let people come to your channel, see what you're doing, and then throw them 3 ads an hour or 6 ads an hour or however much you want to make out of it. But they don't bother doing all that sort of thing. And going back to the ad blocker side of things, companies like Google and all the others are so hypocritical that, you're now getting messages that we notice you're using an ad blocker and that goes against our terms and conditions of use. Well, Google, stop putting ad blocker extensions in your flaming store. You don't want me to use an ad blocker. Yeah, I can search ad blocker on Google extensions and it comes up with about 30. Right. So make your mind up. Either you want the money from the ad blockers who are paying you to be advertised on your service, or you don't want users to use them. What are you making more money out of?
Yeah.
I'm not going to name it, but you can find it. There is a very, very ingenious ad blocker out there at the moment that doesn't block the ads, but doesn't show them to you, the user, tricks YouTube into thinking you're seeing the ads, and gives anonymous information. So every time you click on a show, this particular app goes, here you go, YouTube, have 42 clicks, and there's 27 random made-up names.
Yeah.
So they think they're getting the revenue, but they're actually getting nonsense, nothing data, and you get clear YouTube viewing. I'm not advocating for it, but this is how frustrated people are, that they'll come up with stuff like that to stop having this intrusion.
Yeah.
But hang on, they're providing you with a free service.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, how are they making money off it? It's interesting.
And then it's hard for us smaller content creators who have to pay for these services. Like I have Twitch Nitro because I stream on Twitch. I have YouTube Premium. I mean,
Discord.
It adds up.
You got your Discord,
and Discord
Nitro, or whatever it's called in Discord.
Yeah.
It gets obsessive, right? How can you pay for no ads on all this thing? Spazzy in our chat mentioned they use YouTube Premium for their family. I've heard a lot of people actually say that YouTube Premium is really worth it because when you remove the ads out of YouTube, it is a completely different experience again. It's like YouTube used to be, and where you can just go in there and enjoy the content and things like that. I don't know what the right balance is. I personally try not to block ads if I'm not paying for a service for them because
Same here.
I don't want to take money away from content creators. I want more people to create content. I want more people to write blogs. I want more people, real journalists. I want real journalism again. And you have to fund that to have that because I don't feel like, well, it gets political. But anyways, my point is I want a lot of this stuff back. And you have to be willing to pay for it either monthly, or if you can't, then you have to be able to watch an ad to get it for free. Where I draw the line is where the ads get intrusive, or if there's trackers or fingerprinting or other things in place, then I will completely shut down the site from being able to display me ads. And Privacy Badger is a great tool from EFF to allow you to set permissions per site and things like that you want. So highly recommend that. As far as YouTube goes, I have been thinking heavily about getting YouTube Premium again, just because I want that experience of watching YouTube without the ads. But companies, I don't know what will change, Zeb, because companies are all doing this thing now where they charge you a monthly fee and they also want to add revenue now on top of it. Xbox Gaming is a terrible example of what should not have ads anywhere in it. I know people will do free tiers and stuff with that, but it reminds me of the whole tipping situation in the United States, where I went the other day to a Euro shop with my son, and we go and we order euros. There's no wait staff that comes to your table. You clean up your own table, you throw away your own trash when you're done, and they charge you, let's say $20 for this meal. And then they're like, automatically has this pop-up once you pay. It's like add a 20% tip, and 20% was the minimum. It went all the way up to like 35% of the meal. And I thought 20% of the minimum for you to hand me the meal I paid for, meaning you're doing nothing extra. You're not coming to my table and refilling my drinks. You're not waiting with nothing.
Yeah.
Just, I handed you food. Give me 20%, the food you already paid for. Like, this is the same thing with ads. To me, they're linked together as like, I'm paying you a monthly fee, and now you want to show ads on top of that. You're double dipping. Mm-hmm. You're ripping people off. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, just be very careful when you pick the YouTube one, because YouTube Premium now has YouTube Premium Lite, where you can pay a smaller amount.
Yeah, and get ads.
Only get ads on
Come
music.
on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah,
just like what you were talking about before with Amazon Prime, and now Netflix is doing it, and Paramount Plus, and all the streaming services. So now we're all dealing with this, and in the long run, it ends up being more expensive than just buying cable.
There you go. Which is full of ads, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paying for it and you get ads. TV was the first one to do this. Now,
exactly.
That's a good point, Jill. Like, we paid for cable and we got ads.
Yes.
And then there's people like Tubi and stuff who are out there who are doing live TV with just ads. You pay no monthly fee. And I know a lot of college students and people are utilizing Pluto and Tubi, which are legal versions of streaming TV shows and things, and they just make their whole revenue off of ads, which is all they needed to begin with. You don't need both.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is unbelievable. I think we could spend hours on this, but Zeb, I definitely, with you on, want to go over our game, and then we will close out the show this week. Okay. Zeb, the game this week, I want you to introduce it and talk to us about the game I picked for you, because I think I made you fall in love with the game finally. Yeah, I picked a good one.
I hope so.
This is where it's going to get interesting, because it's interesting that this week's community feedback from ML fits perfectly with the decision I had made about this gaming review before seeing the feedback. Okay. So I had decided that after years of being haunted and traumatized by Ryan's game picks,
how dare you,
that for this show, I will take a different approach to my review. I therefore asked AI to write a gaming review of Vital Shell on Steam in the style that Zebedee Boss of Destination Linux did between 2018 and 2020.
And it knew you? AI knew you?
It took about 4 iterations of responses before I decided that will do. I could be here forever trying to fine-tune this. And just let me further state that the opinions expressed here are not my own words, but that of a bot.
Okay.
And therefore, I cannot be held responsible for any term, discomfort, or disbelief soon to be expressed by Ryan.
Did you just terms and condition me on my own show?
Yeah.
Right. So, Vital Shell. Right. Let's talk about this experience, because calling it a game feels a bit generous, and it's like calling Vim user friendly or GNOME feature complete. You launch it and immediately the screen assaults you with neon colors so bright they could guide aircraft during a power outage. It's like the developers thought, if we blind the player, they won't notice the gameplay trying to mug them in some dark alley somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
The enemies, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Imagine every kitchen appliance you've ever owned suddenly deciding it hates you personally. Toasters, kettles, blenders, all reincarnated as cyber demons with perfect aim and a deep desire to ruin your evening. They don't just kill you, they judge you. The movement feels like someone greased your character with WD-40 and then whispered, "Good luck with that, mate." Before pushing you into a laser maze, you slide around like a penguin on a laminate floor, desperately trying to pretend you're in control of the game while it laughs in your face. And the difficulty. Oh, it's challenging in the same way that being chased by a swarm of angry bees wearing a honey-scented jumpsuit is challenging. Every room is a new opportunity to die in a slightly different shade of neon. Linux performance, yeah, it runs fine. Proton does its job wonderfully. It's a shame that the game itself feels like punishment for crimes that I haven't committed yet.
Good God.
The soundtrack is the only thing keeping you from uninstalling it mid-run. It's all synthwave all the time. The kind of music that makes you think you're in a cool cyberpunk movie right up until you remember that you're actually just been obliterated by a glowing flying toaster with abandonment issues. So after a while of playing this, I realized that Vital Shell isn't roguelite. And I had to look up what that word was because I have no idea what roguelite gaming is. But it's a stress test for your patience, for your reflexes, for your will to live. It's the digital equivalent of someone handing you a Rubik's Cube, knocking it out of your hand, and as it falls down the stairs, asking why you broke it. So my final verdict, or I should say the AI's final verdict, is Vital Shell is loud, flashy, unforgiving, and absolutely convinced it's the second coming of Hades. It isn't. It's more like if Hades slipped on a banana peel, fell down a flight of stairs, and landed in a puddle of fluorescent paint. Would Zeb recommend it? Only if he truly, deeply disliked you.
Wow.
Aww.
And that is what AI wrote about it. Now, you will have to tell me how accurate that is because I haven't watched it.
You didn't play it at all?
Steam.
Oh, you didn't even download the demo? There's a free demo.
I did. I wanted a pure AI experience. Now, you guys and girls out there on the channel as well, was that an accurate description that Zeb would have said in lesser words, because that got very wordy?
Yeah.
But was that a good rendition from AI that found me and gave me all these options just by telling it that I was on Destination Linux between those 2 year frames?
Interesting.
How scary is that?
Well, we were pretty negative during
not
those years
bad.
at times, so I think it was pretty spot on, honestly, with some of the game stuff. You know what's interesting is I feel like people should pay extra to listen to this particular show. You'll pay and you'll get ads because you get to have a British person read you all of that
Exactly.
text. Like that, there's nothing greater than a British accent. So having Zeb read that was almost soothing, even though I was insulted the entire time about this beautiful game that, by the way, has 810 overwhelmingly positive reviews and only costs $4.79. So.
Yeah, hang on a minute. You threw one at me last week that had 180,000 reviews. So you're dipping down the scale a bit, mate. What's going on?
I feel like the overwhelming is. I mean, Jill, did you play this game?
Yes, I did.
What did you think?
I the top-down view is not necessarily my favorite, just because of vision. No. Just because it's hard for me to see the characters.
I got you.
But I love the design and I love the music because I like I like that genre of music.
Jill, is there a game you hate that you don't like? Give me a game. And maybe we'll save it because I don't want to put you on the spot. But I want you, your mission for next week, for next episode, is to give us something a game you don't like.
Okay, right. We'll do.
All right, because Jill, every game, including my art, you somehow find something good about it. And so I love the polar opposite, though. You have Zeb, who hates on every game I recommend, and Jill, who no matter what I pick will find a way to love it. And then there's me, who's just trolling both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's our show. A big thank you to each and every one of you for supporting us by watching or listening to Destination Linux. However you do it, we love your faces. And come join us on our Discord at deviantairwaves.com/Discord. And we probably, by the time you watch this, will have our Element Room linked up there We're going to have Jill work some overtime to get that done, but it will be linked there, and you can join us on our Element server as well. And you become a patron by going to patreon.com/destinationlinux. And we have 4 tiers there that you can support us with, and all kinds of extra goodies that come with that, including shout outs on Destination Linux, unedited versions of the show, a patron segment on Destination Linux, which we're going to be working on. So we're going to invite the patrons onto the show at certain times to actually be part of the show, which will be super exciting. A patron monthly hangout with the host, which we're scheduling right now. Jill, are we gonna do it soon? Soon-ish?
We can,
like maybe
soon-ish.
Soon-ish. Maybe this following weekend after this is released. We will do it on a Saturday or Sunday so a lot of people can join us, but be on the lookout in Discord or Element for the announcement of that date where we will just come hang out, and when possible, early access to the shows as well. So if you want to support the show, we also have our shop.
Yeah,
which Jill and I worked on together. Fantastic shop.
Well, we got hoodies, we got t-shirts, an OG one with more muted colors that Ryan liked. And then we have the Jill's favorite colors with the pinks and the purples and the turquoises.
So what's funny is I created the link to the shop and the website and all URLs and all of that. And then I put in some items in there and I picked the colors. And Jill says, "Good job, Ryan. I'm going to go add some stuff." And I go back to the shop. She's fixed all of the links and made the shop look pretty and added pink everything. So you now have the choice of pink everything and all the other stuff. But go to shop.deviantairwaves.com. Jill, thank you for brightening that up and making all of that work so beautifully.
You're welcome, Ryan. And it is a work in progress. We still have more merch coming, but we have the basics available right now.
The basics are there. All this business stuff launching. So
I know. I got the shop, the Patreon, and our website all in harmony with the same color scheme, and the greens and the pinks together, representing me and Ryan. And that's one of my favorite parts about when I was working on the websites was putting our personalities into it.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Jill and I have been working night and day on this stuff, so I hope you guys like it. We want your feedback. If there's anything different we can do or add, let us know. Mm-hmm.
And head to deviantairwaves.com to get the links to listen to Destination Linux on your favorite podcasting apps. There's an RSS link there, or a link to iHeartRadio or Spotify. Or you can find the videos on YouTube there. And you can also support us via Patreon or the shop to keep those Linux penguins marching on Destination Linux.
That's it. I love
it. And make sure to watch Ryan's game streams that pop up live on Sunday mornings or afternoons on his DOS Geek YouTube channel, or the VODs later. And the other awesome videos he has released recently on his channel. Like, Ryan, you've been putting out videos every week.
I've been trying, yes.
Yeah. So his latest one is the Chat GPT ad trap, why privacy is a lie.
So timely, Zeb, for our topic of ads in there.
Absolutely, it was perfect. And I must admit, you have been nailing those videos just recently.
Oh, thank you so much.
Very, very engaging topics, and very, and you do the work so that we don't have to. We just watch Ryan's videos and he goes deep down into these subjects and saves us having to do our homework. So everybody, let's think of Ryan is our AI of information.
Yes.
AI Ryan. I could be AI. You never know nowadays. I'm seeing some scary stuff with AI where they're mimicking celebrities and it looks perfect. And it's just this like male in the background, but he's being Bobby Brown or one of these other actresses. And as he moves his mouth, she's moving her mouth and it looks perfect. And I'm like, what is the world going to come to in the future with this? Crazy.
Yeah, but then you've got those other awful ones where the voice is saying one thing and the mouth is going...
Yeah, like Burnt Peanut or one of the other ones out there on YouTube. All right, everyone. Have a great week. And remember that the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
And the people you meet on the way, like Yunning said, we added that to the end of every show.
I love it.
That was
Risk 5
yeah.
interview, by the way, if you've not watched it, is fantastic. Please share that interview out there with other people as well. I really want to get what a beautiful message I think he had for everybody. It was amazing as well. So definitely go check that out, share it, get that out there. And thank you, everyone. See you next week.